Do you turn on your happy hormones every day? I know I do. I consciously work at turning on my happy hormones every single day. So what are your happy hormones? They are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. I want to talk today about the simple actions that I consciously take to turn on my happy hormones. I don't wait to do sad, depressed, or any of those kind of things, but I consciously turn on my happy hormones. So let's jump into it. Let's start first with the reward chemical. The reward chemical is dopamine. Now, dopamine comes when we complete a task. If you're watching this on the YouTube, I live on Post-it notes, different colored Post-it notes, because it works on my brain. I don't use to-do lists. I have to-do bits of paper because that's what works for my brain. So whatever works for you. But I get such a buzz out of once I get something, I want to tick something off my to-do list, I screw up the little piece of paper and throw it out. And it's like, yay, it's a reward. It's like a little dopamine hit. And I've learned over life that we don't wait for the great big, happy hormones to be turned on, but all these little bits that compound on a daily basis help keep us in that really happy kind of corridor. So completing a task absolutely gives us a hit of dopamine. Doing self-care, whether it's massage or having a little bit of quiet time away from the kids, whether it's sitting just with a cuppa and just being, whether it's sitting with sunrise in the surf, is absolute self-care. It's better than any meditation. I love it. It just, I feel everything just go, yay, inside my body. It works. Eating good food also gives us a dopamine hit. Now, eating crap food does too, but if you're going to make this a conscious behavior, you want to focus on eating good food. Celebrating the little wins. Like I said, and when I go surfing, I cheer on. I've talked about it in previous podcasts, how I laugh and I cheer on when I fall off a surfboard, when I stack it, because that's a way that I keep myself moving forward. I recognize all those little things. It's like, yay, I got up today. Like whatever it is, I do these things to consciously. Surfing is like one big bucket of dopamine hit for me. And I know some days I'll be driving home from surfing and I am on the highest of highs, absolute highest of highs, because it's the reward chemical. We get it when it's like, yes, I achieved something. I surfed, I paddled out, I nailed it, whatever it is. And it oozes through my body. It's the best damn feeling. I don't need any drugs. I totally get off on the natural happy hormones in our body. So let's talk about the next one. The next one is oxytocin. Now, this is the love hormone. This is like, oh, the world's all right kind of feeling one. Now, we get this when we play with our pets. And if you could see here on my desk, I've got my pussycat, Harley. Now, she just follows me around all day, every day. If you've got a dog, it's play with the dog. It's play with the cat. If you've got kids, it's play with the kids. It's play with your partner. It's holding hands. It's touch. And even Harley, she'll sit with me when I eat my meals and she still just has to touch me. And the feeling I get, that wave of oxytocin when she'll just be touching me with a little paw, is like, oh, that's so lovely. And that's what it is. Oxytocin is the love hormone. It works. Hugging. I'm a hugger. I am a big hugger. If you catch up with me, I promise you're going to get a hug because I love it. I love touch. It's one of my love languages. Giving compliments. I consciously give compliments to people of a day. I consciously do things. I consciously play with my pussycat. I'm a hugger when I catch up with friends. And I absolutely consciously give compliments whenever I see people or talk to them in whichever way, or even loving on people in Facebook and social media and that. I do it too. Giving compliments turns my happy hormone oxytocin on. So if you're not a compliment giver, be a compliment giver. And on that note, if you haven't read the book, The Daymaker, yet, go and check it out. Daymaker is an epic book, which was where I really learned about consciously giving people compliments. I love doing it. I love it. It's so good. Makes me feel good. The next happy hormone is serotonin, and it is the mood stabilizer. Now, this is the one that we get when we're meditating. We're doing that kind of focused one thing at once kind of thing. So the meditating, going for a run, going surfing for me. Absolutely. Boy, I know the days I haven't been surfing, I'm nowhere near as productive. My day doesn't flow anywhere near as much. And the serotonin part of this is big one. Sun exposure. Now, be sun conscious, responsible, but getting out in the sun, walking your garden, whatever it is. And for me, during my day when I'm working, I'm consciously, about every hour, I'll go out and do a lap of the garden, have a chat to the plants, just checking things. I get little doses and they all add up to keep my happies turned on. Walking in nature and basically just being outside, whether it's swimming or outside walking, exercising, whatever, being outside, out in nature is what turns on our serotonin. And then when you're there, I really encourage you to be present. I have taught myself to consciously notice, whether it's a flower or, and with deep gratitude and appreciation, it's like, and so plants and things, it's like they call out to me, it's like, or clouds or the back colors of a sunrise or a sunset just do something to me because I'm in it and I'm present with them. And I get that rush of happy hormones when it's just like, for me, it's like a meditation. I'm so focused and just absorbed into it. It's like, I just feel so good. And it's not hippie woo-woo stuff, guys. This is hard ass science. And it absolutely makes a difference. So if you want to turn you want your happy hormones to fire, put yourself in situations where they're going to be fired daily. The last one is endorphins. Now, endorphins are our painkillers in life. One of the best things to be able to, manage pain is actually laughing, conscious laughing, watching comedies and things to bring in that chemical release. I read the book when I first started studying to be a naturopath over 30 years ago about Norman Cousins. And he was a guy back in the 50s who laughed himself well. Doctors went, "You're done, go home to die." And he went, "No." And he watched Marx Brothers movies and all the old black and white comedies of the time. And he laughed himself well. He thought if I'm going to die, I'm going to go out laughing. Well, he bloody got better. So laughing is real. It helps your body on so many levels. Watching comedies, without a doubt. So, and I've talked in the past about when I'm eating, I watch comedies on YouTube and stuff because, whether it's reruns of Ellen or whatever the kind of funny shows that I like to watch, I watch them because watching comedies, laughing also directly interacts with our blood sugar levels. So I want to keep my blood sugar levels excellent and my insulin sensitivity in that. And I do it by watching comedies every single day. And I do it around my meals. I never watch the news while I eat a meal. That is like asking for trouble health-wise. It really is. Aromatherapy essential oils and generally things like our spices are really good. Your cloves and cinnamons and gingers, those kind of essential oils are excellent for pain killing, but we also want to, lighten that kind of mood. So this is where your citrus essential oils will be useful as well. And there are many, many, many essential oils that are useful for pain killing. And I'll put a link to the book I wrote called Amazing Scents, which is all about, it's like my aromatherapy 101. I'll put a link in the show notes for you. You can check it out. Chocolate, if you're a chocolate head, dark chocolate, not the, milk chocolate and stuff, but bitter, unsweetened, dark chocolate is actually a really good pain relief. And I've worked with a chocolate that's been used in pain clinics in the States for years because it's interesting, about 80% of pain is actually in our heads. It's not in the injury. It's in our head and our head perceives the pain. And so the classic is a little kid falls over and he kind of goes, "Oh," and they don't cry until they see how we react to it. It's real. So dark chocolate is good to help you manage pain. And I'll put a link in the show notes to the dark chocolate I like to eat. And exercising also turns on your endorphins. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, it's something that I consciously do in my life to help my health and wellness, physically and emotionally. I consciously do something from each category every day to make sure that I turn my happy hormones on. I only have one healthy life hack for you from today's episode, and that is pick one thing from each category every day so that you can commit to it and turn on your happy hormones. I really encourage you, until it becomes a habit, to set a reminder or an alarm or something in your phone so that if it might be that you have a piece of dark chocolate for afternoon tea of a day, whatever it is, create a system around so that you're consciously turning on all of your happy hormones every single day. So many people, they're not bloody depressed, but they're on antidepressants, they're not really depressed. They're not consciously turning on their happy hormones, and they're so easy to turn on. Think about it. I promise it's worth it. Head over to the show notes and I'll give you a link to that book I was talking about, but also I'll give you a link to the dark chocolate that I like to eat that keeps my body happy.